Hey everyone, this is Greg D'Amico coming at you here, and I want to give you a quick primer on the prisoner's dilemma if you haven't seen it before. So the setup is like this. You and an accomplice have been arrested on pretty serious charges. Let's say bank robbery, and the evidence that they have on you is not quite altogether convincing. They definitely have you on possessing illegal firearms, so they can get you on that lesser sentence if nothing else. But in order to uh, get a conviction on the bank robbery, they're going to have to rely on one of you ratting out the other, right? Or perhaps both of you ratting out the other. And so you have a choice to make. Are you going to remain silent and hope that your partner does the same? Or are you going to flip, i.e., rat out your accomplice, um, and hope that your partner stays silent? Now, the prisoner's dilemma invites us in general to think about decision theory, which is a rational study of decision making. And often when we think about decision theory, we organize ourselves like this. So here in column A, I've got the actions that I can take, simplifying it down to two. Either I cooperate or I flip. And in the top row here, I've got the various circumstances that would affect my utilities or how good the state of the world is based on what happens in the world. In this case, the relevant circumstances are either that my partner cooperates, i.e., remains silent, or flips, i.e., on me. Okay. And it's clear that if we make a grid here, right, so either I cooperate or I flip, either my partner cooperates or they flip, I can make a sort of square of the various possible scenarios here. And in each square, so in each of these four possibilities, I'm going to write down a utility value. That is a number indicating how good that scenario is for me. Okay. So if we both cooperate, that is, if we both remain silent, well, again, they'll get us on that minor weapons charge, but that's pretty pretty minor thing. We'll both be relatively well off. So let's just call that -1. Right? We'll have some uh, punishment for that weapons charge, but nothing too serious. If I cooperate while my partner flips, well, that's very bad for me because now my partner will go free. The prosecutors will say, "Thanks very much for your testimony. We'll let you go and see that your partner gets all the blame." So let's call that -100 in utilities. Um, Symmetrically, if I'm the one who flips while my partner cooperates, then I get all the utility. That's +100 for me. Whereas if we both flip on each other, right, well, now we're both admitting to the crime. Um, the prosecutor has arranged that if we both flip on each other, uh, he'll sort of pay us for the honesty and give us a somewhat lighter sentence, but still pretty serious sentence given that we're being convicted of bank robbery. We'll call that -50. Okay. Now, here's one way to reason about what to do in this case. I think about column B, right? In column B, that's the world where my partner cooperates. Okay. Well, if my partner cooperates, I might notice that I'm better off flipping on him, right? 100 for me if I flip, -1 if I don't. Now I consider column C, the world where my partner flips. Well, in that world too, I'm also better off flipping, right? -50 is better than -100. And so I could reasonably come to the conclusion that I really ought to flip, right? And we might say, this is sort of decision theory lingo, we might say that this choice to flip dominates over the choice to cooperate. Because no matter which world I'm in, as it were, as specified by these circumstances that name the columns, I'm better off flipping. Okay. Now, of course, my partner might reason exactly the same way, and if so, we'll both flip, and we'll end up in this world here, where we both rat on each other. We get a somewhat lighter sentence, but we still have a pretty serious punishment here at -50. And right, the crux of it is we would both have been better off if we could just have remained silent, each of us, and then we'd be in this world here, -1. Right. And so the dilemma is that even though this choice of flipping seems to be apparently better, no matter which world I'm in, better that is than cooperating, nevertheless, the world where we both cooperate is the best of all worlds. Right. And so the prisoner's dilemma invites us to think about, how can it be that what's best for both of us is somehow not what's best for either of us individually?